Hi, it's Brad again. I'm having a look at the game that my friend and I played at the London Chess Club. That's, I think, londonchessclub.ca on the internet if you want to have a look. And he was just sharing with me that he had his butt kicked, in his own words, when he was playing white against black's response c5 to d4. This opening. And this one comes down as Benoni C43 as opposed to the C56, I think, that I demonstrated in the previous video from another database, professional database. And the reason being, I think, is my response is a lot more passive, a lot more hesitant, I think, would be a fair assessment. I just want to show you if you're comparing what I think is a much shyer, I think, approach to this whole problem of d5. It just shows less experience, perhaps. I decide eventually at this point I just want to get that guy out of the way. I just want to play a regular game of chess, you know. It's not going to be, a nice. I don't know, a nice king's pawns game or something like that, but I just want to see what comes of it. I know here that he's not going to cross pawns here and let me grab his king and drag his grab his queen and drag his king out into the open. So I know I'm safe there. So this pawn actually gets to sit there for a good long while. So we know this to be true. So he decides we got a bit of a pass pawn situation there. Okay, so I bring my my knight out. Okay, he's got a great thing going here. What he misses in coming down like so to threaten is that I've pinned his knight, and I'm going to come up, as you probably predicted, and I'm going to do this because I don't want to lose that knight down there. So his next move is to back up the pinned knight. Of course, I've got this whole thing going on here, and I'm going to take the bishop that's backing up the knight, and we're going to have this whole exchange situation going on for a little while. Yeah, grab a good book. It's going to be going on for a while. This guy was hanging out there for a while, so I decided eventually just to support him with another pawn. So I'm fairly strong queenside. He's got a nice phalanx going on there. I like what I see in his pawn structure. It's pretty good. He wants to threaten that. I'll just come up with a3, simple enough. And let's see here. Yeah, I think that we look here. Fritz likes Queen F6 as a move. Didn't happen. Knight. Let's see here. Knight E5, Queen E3, Knight E5, Castle, BE7, F3. Now, the reason I'm doing F3 is that one of Fritz's favorite moves here, and I think it's an excellent one, is for him to take that knight and get it there, plant it, because that's a major player. If he can threaten these squares, these pieces, then he's in good shape if he can get some other supporting pieces down in there. So what I want to do is I want him to take that. And then I want this knight to cut across there to take the pawn. That's taken this pawn, so that I've got an open file. When the knight, if this knight tries to cut across, there won't be a pawn there to support it, and I'll be able to take it. So we can just watch the fireworks, and I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So knight can no longer go there. That's no longer a safe spot. That's no longer a safe spot for him. See, it only took a couple of moves, and it was a forced play really on that spot. So, managed to clear out that threat. He is greatly weakened in this position. It's not as good for him. Okay, So I'm in a fairly decent spot. I'm in a position to capture a pawn there and a pawn there within several moves. Okay, he is going to, what you will see is that he'll check the king, but he doesn't have much else going on. Okay, so we capture and we're checking the queen. He's checking the king. He ups the ante there. Okay, and he brings the queen down. So you ask, why don't I take that bishop with my bishop? Well, if I take that bishop with my bishop, he takes his knight down, and he forks my two most valuable offensive players. I'm going to lose either a queen or a rook in that play. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit pretty and let him decide what he wants to do. And it's not my top priority anyway. My move is here, because I'm looking down this file toward a vulnerable uncastled king. He, for some reason, decides he can capture that knight, which is insanity, because we're just going straight over there. And he can't afford to capture with either of those pieces because he'll lose them to a pawn. Okay, so back he comes, and I just ignore it and go for check. King moves. Check again with a little help from my friend over here. He moves. We take a rook. He moves. I take another rook. His knight goes in. Now this, if I were not in an incredibly powerful position over here with queen, rook, knight, in terms of checking with mate and basically two moves, I would be very nervous, because that's mate in one. That's what he's got going on right here. If you can see that, bang. So I'm not going to defend mate because I don't need to. Okay, so check. He moves out of check, and checkmate. So the two Benoni games are quite different in the sense that, again, my response was, I have no idea what this Benoni business is. I didn't even know what it was until I had a chance to ask the president of the chess club, who was present the other night, what it was. And he was good enough to tell me, and I looked it up. That's why I decided to give you two videos tonight, one professional database from 1957, and one amateur game from the two of us at Chess Club from last week. I hope you enjoyed them both. Obviously, they're different, and they gave you a bit of a different perspective. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again soon.